Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Thank you for joining me on another twin flame video. It's come to me during the last couple days that, there's a lot of questions surrounding how to determine if it's a twin flame connection. I have made various videos on the processes that you can go through to determine what your connection is. And as I make this video, I will link the videos below that you can refer to. But the purpose of this video is also to simplify. It is to make it easier to determine what the connection is. And it's to kind of condense other videos and information that I've provided in other videos to help you make sense of it all, because I do feel with twin flames there is a lot of nebulousness. There's how do I say, things are unclear, it's confusing, it's up in the air, because a lot of the time the awakened twin or the spiritual twin, who is also referred to as the chaser, needs clarification, and the runner or the matrix twin is the one that wants to try and get out of dodge, okay, because the energy is too intense, and that kind of leaves the spiritual twin hanging. So I want to make this video to help you to identify what is going on in your connection. But as I said, I will list videos below that you can have a look at. I'll give you tips on how to. I've made notes to make sure that I keep everything practical, to the point, and easy to follow. And before I continue, I want to say, if you like this video, please be sure to like. If you like the type of information that I bring, if you resonate with my journey, please be sure to subscribe. Okay, so what I have found in my journey, because I'm an astrologer as well, I'm informally educated. I've studied astrology since 1988. I was 16 and I dived right into the subject of astrology. I have been officially tutored by Surinder Sarkar, who's an Indian astrologer. He is located in Mumbai, and he has been my mentor and tutor for the last 2 years as well. So I don't have a diploma. I have not attended schools or anything, but I have been studying my own chart, and I feel like with twin flame, one of the reasons why I'm bringing astrology into this is because it's a spiritual connection, and I've made a video on this, on how you can take your own charts and study your chart and look for certain points. Okay, if you don't have astrology background, then try and get an astrologer that will help you to determine. But for me, the very basics is, if you're going to get a astrology session to determine if you're on a twin flame connection, there must be at least 10 points plus connections, aspects in your chart to that's pointing into the direction of past life, that's pointing into the direction of spiritual connection. Okay, so spiritual past life, you must have huge contacts with tight orbs to be able to determine it with astrology. For me personally, that is kind of the major way how I determined whether what I was in was an astrology connection. It is through astrology that it's a twin flame connection, because in the first year of researching, I would study my chart, and I was fortunate enough to have my twins' details as well. During our bubble love, he disclosed his birth details to me, which, I respect his privacy. That's also one of the main things about twins, is you have to respect your twins' privacy. You have to respect their journey, okay? Stick to ethical methods here. But if you do want to follow the path of astrology, it's important that you have the exact details. Having information that is not 100% guaranteed is taking stabs in the dark. Okay, so if you don't have the information, then astrology is not the way for you to determine if it is a twin flame connection or not. Okay, must have the time of birth, the place of birth, and the date, all the details. All right. Okay, so one of the reasons what I did was what happened with me was in my first year of exploring what the connection was between myself and my twin, I used to study our charts and I was looking for ways out of the connection. I was looking for ways to say that it is not a twin flame. But the more I started to dig, the more it pointed towards twin flame, which was a huge point of frustration for me, because twin flame, as you all know, is a huge challenge. It's asking you to do spiritual work. It's asking for you to heal, to do work on yourself, to have a look at your own inner workings and your own deep psychological transformation that you need to facilitate and be willing to make for yourself. Now, there is a video that I made that is why twin flame doubt the connection, where it was one of my very first videos that I made. And I want to explain that in astrology, you get a Plutonic connection, okay? And then you get your twin flame connection. There's a vast difference between a Plutonic connection and a twin flame connection. But it is confusing because the initial stages of a twin flame and Plutonic connection is the same. The Plutonic connection takes on the characteristics of the initial stages of awakening, bubble love, crisis, okay, and then surrender. You get those 4 stages in a Plutonic connection as well. But there is a difference between the Plutonic and the twin flame connection. In the initial stages, you can, if your twin flame connection started when you were little, and this is like, go watch my video, Twin Flame Mission. This is about having an experience in your youth about knowing that there is someone out there for me. It's just like an energetic connection. You don't know what it is. You just have this knowing, this cognizance that there is a person, there is a connection, there is someone somewhere in the world that is uniquely for me, and you feel that energy literally. That is the beginning of a twin flame connection. A twin flame union connection is a long, long journey. My journey is 30 years, 30. Okay? Plutonic connections will start when you meet your person. Okay? Plutonic connection is instant connection, chemistry, obsession, intensity. Plutonic connections develop fast, but they burn fast as well. It is like a supernova through the sky. It's intense, and it is like a whirlwind. It's like you can't control it. There's obsession, and in some cases, with Plutonic connection, you'll find physical, mental, emotional abuse. Okay? And Plutonic connections are soulmate connections. These are connections that you have with people that come into your life, and they come in with an intensity that is there to teach you, to help you to heal in some way, shape, or form. If you go into a Platonic connection, 9 out of 10 times you learn how to deal with obsession of some kind. Whether this is, just obsession and love. This could also, Plutonic connections could also bring with it an experience of unrequited love, loving someone who is emotionally, physically not available to you. So it teaches, Plutonic Connection serves a purpose to teach you on how to deal with relationship dynamics where there is an imbalance, okay, in yourself. So that is why there's always this confusion between Plutonic and twin flame, because twin flame will take you down the same path, but the difference in twin flame is twin flame cannot and will not ever, ever have the ability or the energetic of abuse, physical abuse, mental, emotional abuse. Okay? For the simple fact that it's a spiritual connection, number one. You are joined energetically through the crown chakra. I have, once again, I refer to the video Twin Flame Mission where it explains the energetics between twin flame. When you share the same higher self, whatever you direct to your twin in the way of energetics will come back to you instantly. So if you have a negative thought, and I have made the video, I hate you, I love you. If you have an instant negative thought, it comes back to you tenfold very fast. So you learn in the very beginning, in crisis, you learn not to send any negative thoughts even to your twin. Never mind having, a fist or something else involved in that dynamic, because you will feel the pain, excruciatingly so. Twins cannot abuse each other. No matter how much emotional pain you feel your twin is causing you because you are projecting onto them. And I made the previous video is Twin Flame the Naked Truth, that I'll also link here. When you project or have any expectations of your twin, that is also kind of you inflicting that pain on yourself, because you have an expectation of your twin to deliver something which they cannot, because in twin flame you can't have any form of codependency or any form of imbalance in a connection. If there's any imbalance, your twin will point out to you what that imbalance is for you to heal it, because we're going into a new paradigm for the divine masculine and the divine feminine to relate to each other. You can't have any expectations. You come into a connection fully healed, fully balanced, with whatever it is that you can contribute to that connection, and your twin does the same. Okay? So I'll link that video underneath here, so that will bring another layer to, the twin flame dynamic as well. So the Plutonic connection is, as I said, it's intense. It burns out fast. It most probably lasts for about 5 to 6 years. Okay, the intensity, how do I say it? The explosive, deep chemistry, almost toxic kind of energy that you have in a connection where two people are so codependent that they cannot function without the other. And therefore, because there's that real codependency of like, this person becomes my world, this person is my universe, I can't function without this person. That gets confused with the twin flame connection, because the twin flame is anything but that. Twin flame will show you that your world cannot and will not revolve around another person. Twin flame is about learning the process of you becoming the center of your own universe. You becoming a whole balanced person, a healing from past trauma to be able to have healthy, balanced relationships with yourself and then also with other people. Okay, with Plutonic connections, this is your soulmate connection, where you meet someone, you feel the chemistry, you fall in love, it's very intense, it's abusive, it's on, off, on, off, on, off kind of connections. It is, can't find the balance in that connection until you've learned the lesson of whatever emotional maturity or mental maturity that you need to obtain, because soulmates also come in to teach us about healthy relating. Okay, but the difference between a Plutonic connection and a twin flame connection is in the Plutonic connection, there's an expectation. Boy meets girl, girl meets boy, girl earns, she bakes the bacon, and boy brings the bacon home. If boy brings the bacon home, girl must cook bacon. That's Plutonic. There's an expectation of your partner, of your love interest. My Plutonic connection must love me, must love me, must accept me for who I am. And, you know, the scary thing about these Platonic connections, or in any, or even in your twin flame connection, the word unconditional love is just thrown around loosely. Okay, so what I also want to bring in here is the understanding of what unconditional love is. Unconditional love isn't accommodating the other person all the time so that they can get their way. Unconditional love is not always about, it's about compromising. It's about having the ability to see behind your person's actions and words what is actually forthcoming, what is the driving force behind the words and the actions, and to, even if you don't understand it, to say, I can see you struggling with something. I can see you struggling with emotions. I can see you struggling to see my point of view. But I can see you making the effort. But if you don't understand, that's okay. That's not the end of the world. You know, that is unconditional love, is to be able to not to compromise, but also to compromise in a very healthy way, that you don't always just give up and sacrifice for someone else to have. Or if your partner's telling you, I want you to love me unconditionally, what they're actually saying is, just accept me for who I am. Don't change me. And that's it. If your person is hot-tempered, short-tempered, rude, or whatever, it is to say, okay, well, I accept you with your warts and all, and that's you. I'm not judging you for it. That is unconditional love. Unconditional love isn't to make sure that your person gets their way all the time or the other way around. Okay? So that is the way I understand unconditional love to be. And if you want to, you know, compromise on something, you can compromise on something, but it's also about knowing where the fine line is drawn between how far do you want to compromise until you lose yourself, until you start to sacrifice yourself. That's also like a very blurry kind of line. But these things we all learn in our Plutonic dynamics. Okay? It teaches you where healthy boundaries lie. And a Plutonic connection will last about 5 to 6 years. Why do I say this? Because a Plutonic connection is, to me, presented in the astrology chart with the planet Pluto. It's a very slow-moving planet. And normally when you are in a Plutonic connection, you will find synastry. In other words, there'll be contact points between two people's Pluto and inner planets like Moon, Pluto and Moon, Pluto, Venus, Pluto, Mars, Pluto, Sun, Pluto, North Node. So, you know, there will be contacts to personal planets in a Plutonic connection. And the reason why I say last 5 to 6 years is because that is normally when there's a contact point, that is normally about the degrees that Pluto needs to cover in orb with that specific personal planet for it to have a really strong influence on that sector of your life. So it normally takes about 5 to 6 years to be able to learn the emotional life lessons that's connected in a Plutonic connection. Okay, that is how long it will take to learn the lessons. Some people, depending on sun sign or other factors, will decide to stay longer in that connection, maybe because they're loyal, maybe because, of other personality traits. They'll still stick in a loveless connection for whatever reason they feel they need to justify for being in a loveless connection with someone. And that is a Plutonic connection, like someone being stuck in an abusive relationship for 15 years. That in the first 5 to 6 years, the lessons would have been learned. Other years on top of that is personal choice. Okay, or deep psychological aspects. But these are what I'm saying is there is a reason and an explanation in a Plutonic connection astrologically for it having an expiration date. Twin flame does not have an expiration date, and that is why it gets confusing between Plutonic connections and twin flame, because the initial stages, the obsession with the runner chaser, the crisis, going and testing. So you get your awakening, your bubble love, your testing, crisis, and surrender, right? And then you'll go to and fro, crisis, surrender, back into crisis, surrender, back into crisis, until you get the hang of it. And then the difference, though, is that a twin will go into the next stages, which is after surrender and separation, or in surrender and separation. A twin will receive their mission, what they need to accomplish here, energetically, because twins have a mission. There is work that needs to be done. The difference between twin flame Plutonic is obsession. It's also maybe having a deep soul connection with a soulmate with whom you had spent many lifetimes. Okay, and Plutonic connection can be beautiful as well. Beautiful soul connections. People meet each other, they fall in love, and they stay together for the rest of their lives. It's like doves mating for life. Okay, that is, you get that as element in your soulmate connections as well. But with your soulmate connections, it's a lot easier. You'll meet your soulmate, you'll fall in love, you'll buy the house, you'll have the car, you'll have the dog, you'll spend 40 years together, and that's just the way it is. But with twin flame, there's another layer. There's work to do. Work on yourself. Deep trauma that needs to be healed from the day you were born. Okay. And that is also what I cover in my video, Twin Flame How to Heal, and then the last one that I made, Twin Flame The Naked Truth. So I just want to check my notes quickly. The reason, also, one of the things that I use to explain the difference between a Plutonic connection and a twin flame connection is that in a Plutonic connection, you have an expectation. Sorry, my camera is just going out of focus here. You have the expectation of if you go into a relationship and your person doesn't love you back, and you're sitting with a situation of unrequited love, and maybe a feeling of the one that got away. There is that expectation, like you can try and try, very much like the twin that is in crisis. You can try to chase your person, and your person will maybe run away or wouldn't want to have anything to do with you, or there is just this thing where they don't commit to you at all. Okay, And so there is a time lapse for this obsession, or waiting for this person, or waiting for this relationship to happen in your life. People will wait X amount of time before they give up on the Plutonic connection and move on into a soulmate connection that will actually bring them love and happiness and contentment, and the things that they feel like what they deserve in a relationship from someone else. Okay, because that's what relating is. You meet someone, you fall in love, you build a future together, right? That is what people want when you go into a connection. You want to share your life with that person. And with a Plutonic connection, when you meet someone and you fall in love, whether that love is returned to you or not, there's an expiration date for that love to last. You will maybe wait for your person 2 or 3 or 4 years, and then after a while decide, oh well, maybe it's not meant to be. I'll just be open to another soulmate so that I can be happy and have a happy life. Okay, that's Plutonic. Twin flame, good luck to you if you're trying to move on. Good luck with it. Good luck. I've tried many times. Many times. Okay. There's synchronicities that's just crazy. That keeps on bringing you back to your path, where I would go out on coffee dates, and I get in the car and I just pull my car out the driveway, and on a random radio station, Freebird will play the one and only song I played on guitar with my twin, and everything is just totally derailed. So I go, well, I'm not even going to go out because my mood and everything has been spoiled. There is something that happens in a twin flame connection when you start to move away from your connection that will bring you back into alignment for you to keep your focus, because there's work to be done. And that work is bigger than the people in the union. That work is bigger. And with that, I don't want to say that that twins are special. That is also one thing that I want to clear up, and I want to be very clear about this. Twin flame units, okay, or unions. You have your divine masculine, your divine feminine, which is not male, female necessarily. It's non-gender, it's transgender, it's whatever it is, okay? And you get your divine masculine and your divine feminine in your soulmate connection as well, because it's not only twins that has a divine mission. There are soul missions for soulmates as well. There's a lot of people doing good in this world. But what I'm saying is with a twin flame, is there are 7 stages that you need to go through. And the first 5 is very similar to Platonic connection. But once you've gone into surrender and you found your mission, you will start to radiate. Okay? Radiation is like you start to shine. People just see there's a light inside of you that is shining, because it's a spiritual connection. Your vibration is getting a huge boost, okay, from the spiritual growth that you're going through in a twin flame connection. With a Plutonic connection, you don't get the spiritual growth at the pace that it happens in a twin union, twin flame union. Plutonic connection is, if it's a beautiful soulmate Plutonic connection where it is past souls meeting up and they sharing their life together because that's their love connection. That's an easy connection. As you meet someone, you fall in love, and you just stay together because you feel like this is my person. I've known you for 1,000,000 years, and you're my home. That's it. For a twin flame, there is that, and then work to be done. Okay? Because what the twin flame does is, you, with the divine masculine and divine feminine, everyone here on this planet is divine because we're all created in God's image. Soulmates have their mission. The soulmates always also bring in, good and service into this world. It's not only twin flames, but in the case of a twin flame connection, the dynamics is that your twin is the one that comes into your life to awaken you and to put you on your path and take you on the path that you need to go to be able to do the spiritual growth, to heal yourself emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually, on all levels, so that you can be balanced to facilitate high vibration energy. Okay, because it's the once again, crown's chakra, same energy in two bodies. I've explained that in twin flame mission, so I'm not going to go there. So it's high vibration. It's like splitting an atom. You're bringing in two people here that don't leave each other a lot of room to move in the way of how they develop. Okay, and your twin will bring in healing for you. So where the thing comes in between Plutonic connections and twin flame connections is Plutonic connections, if that connection doesn't work out, if it's a unrequited love kind of situation, there's an expiration date on that connection, and you will be able to move on and find someone else to love, to build a future, and to have you happy ever after, if that is what you want. With twin flame, you can do the same. You can go with a soulmate if you want, but your twin will always be a third party connection in your soulmate connection. Your twin will always be there because you cannot break the connection between you and your twin. I have explained this in why the connection cannot be broken. That link is also below the video. You can't break. I don't care what other people say. I have tried to do it myself many times. You cannot break the energetic between you and your twin. You can pretend it's not there. You're welcome to do that if that is what you want to do. I do feel like, I know that there are quite a few twins that have walked away from their twin flame union because it's just too intense. It's not the easy journey. It's very challenging, and I'm not judging here. I'm just saying that there are people who choose to walk away, and I can see why they do that, because it is a very, very challenging situation to find yourself in, especially when you go through crisis, dark night of the soul. Suicide is a very real possibility. So I am not judging or criticizing people for seeking out a soulmate connection. Okay? And with that, I also want to implore you, if you're watching this video and if you are in crisis and you feel you need counseling or you need help or you need to reach out, please make the effort to speak to someone. Please, there's a lot of people that will connect below this video. Speak to each other. You don't have to go through this alone, because I know that suicide is a very real possibility. Okay, so hang in there. Just one breath at a time. Okay, one breath at a time. That's where you need to be if you're truly struggling. So with the twin flame, you can't move on from that connection as easily as a Plutonic situation. For the simple fact is, your twin moves into your mind and in your energetic field permanently once you have had your awakening. Once you've met them in the physical, or once you become aware about your twin and who your twin is to you, they will kind of take up a space in your mind. They're always on your mind. You dream about them when you go to sleep. They're in your mind all day long, from when you wake up until you go to sleep again. And then even when you sleep, they're in your dreams. So there's no peace. Okay? And so, and this goes on indefinitely. There's no expiration date. Eventually it is like a knowingness. It's just about, in the beginning it's very noisy to have your twin in your mind all the time, okay? But then once you start to make peace with the fact that they're in your mind, I just had this conversation with my twin the one day and say, you know what, I can't remember a time when my mind wasn't my own. So you might as well just take a sofa, bring a sofa, move it into my mind and just sit and camp out, because I'm tired of having to fight for the space in my mind. I'm tired to fight to have my mind quiet and not having you there. So once I kind of had this internal conversation, or this conversation through meditation with my twin, it was like, okay, well, let's move a sofa in. You can just sit there in the back of my mind in the sofa and just chill. That is when that noisy energy of having your mind occupied by your twin, that's when it tones down and it just becomes like a background noise. I describe it as a cognizance. It's a knowing this that's continuously there, which is what you don't get in a Plutonic connection. In a Plutonic connection, that energy will fade away. My journey is a 30-year journey. I met my twin. I dreamed of my twin in 2003, July of 2003. I saw him in my dreams. I met him on the 28th of May, 2013, and we're still going. I'm devoted to my twin flame union. I'm devoted to my twin, and I'm devoted to my mission, what I need to accomplish here. So it is about learning to make peace with the fact that your twin will always just be a part of your life. Whether you are devoted to your twin flame connection, to your union, to your mission or not, is neither here or there. But if you are in a twin flame connection and you want to be with a soulmate, just make peace with the fact that that cognizance is always going to be there. A Plutonic will be able to move on from a relationship, and that person will fade away into the background and they'll just become a memory, just like everything else. Maybe if you're lucky and was a really bad relationship, you'll just totally trash the whole thing and never ever think about it again and just totally move on, right? But you can't do that with a twin flame connection because it's a spiritual connection. And I explain that in my video called Twin Flame Mission. So I hope I've cleared up the difference between a Plutonic connection and a twin flame connection. Plutonic is conditional. I do this, you do that. And because I do this, you will do that. And that's how we work together. Twin flame is, I have my stuff, you have your stuff. I love you. I love you because I love you. Even though you don't love me, I love you because I love you, because there's no explanation, there's no reason why you should still continue loving your person, especially when they're not in your life, especially when you've been in separation for 6 or 7 years, or you haven't been together. Maybe you haven't even met your person. Maybe your person is living overseas, or your person has crossed over, or they've gone to heaven. There's always that cognizance, that awareness. And I made another video about twins that had crossed over. It's called Twin Flame He, She is in Heaven. I'll put the links below. Because your connection is timeless. It's multidimensional. It's just as much a part of you as you are you. It's part of your energy. You can't separate yourself from your twin. And I discussed that and why the twin flame connection can't be broken. So with the Plutonic, it's okay, well, it didn't work. It was a high, very intense, maybe kind of relationship that lasted for 6 to 7 years, maybe shorter, depending on the transit, the planet Pluto transit in your chart. But you'll fully be able to move on from it and just to say, well, that was a good learning curve. Cheers, I'm outie. can't do it with a twin flame. The cognizance, that energy is always, always in your mind. And it's not about, it's that love that you feel for your person. It's always there. I see what you do. I hear what you say. I love you. You chose someone else. You chose to be with someone else. I respect that. I love you. I choose you. I choose my union. I choose my mission. So that is twin flame. Plutonic is, okay, it's not working out between the two of us. I love you, but I just can't do this. I'm outie. Boom, done. Get into another relationship and move on. That's Plutonic. Twin flame is, you've decided to move because, with the matrix twin, they go into separation. They marry other people. They have children with other people. It takes them years and years and years to process the information, some of them, to process the information of what is actually going on. And they will know what's going on. There's a permeation that is taking place between the twins because they dream of each other. But with a twin flame connection is years and years and years, however long that separation is, whether your twin is crossed over or whether your twin is here in this earth physical with someone else, years and years and years will go by, but that person will be in your head. You'll have the cognizance, you'll have the connection, you'll dream of your twin. You'll feel your twin. You'll know when they have a good day. You know when they have a bad day. You know when they're happy. You know when they're sad. You know when they're challenged. There is that connection that's always there. And it is, I love you because I love you because I love you. I don't understand it. I cannot explain it. But I love you because I love you. And it is just a continuous type of energy that is forever there. So if you are in an intense connection with someone and you feel intense chemistry with someone, and we're talking a couple of years, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 6 months, 7 months, whatever, it is more than likely a Plutonic connection. If you feel the chemistry upon meeting someone and you haven't had your first part of your awakening when you were younger, then it is a Platonic connection. The spiritual twin that will have their first awakening in the younger years, you will know exactly what that experience is. It might not make sense to you at the time when you have your first awakening experience. Okay? But when you meet your twin in the physical, that is what I call recognition. Because you're awakening, the first stage is when you become aware of the connection. But when you meet your twin in the physical, that's your recognition. That is when the twin flame energy is like, right, now it's time to get to work. That's when and you will be spiritual. From the time when you wake up with that initial energy, you will embark on your spiritual journey, whether this is you becoming religious in some way, shape, or form. It's about going on a spiritual journey of some kind. It could start with anything. It could start with a yoga session. It could start with you giving your heart to Jesus, or whatever, religious kind of background you're growing up in. It will have a start when you are young, okay? Mine is, I was 11 years old in 1983. And I know exactly the moment I knew, it's like a photograph in my mind, boom, that was my awakening. And my recognition was on the 28th of May, 2013. That's when I recognized my twin. But you will have experiences leading up to your twin. Like, please remember to do diaries. Remember to write things down. If your journey is less than 10 years, it's most probably Plutonic. Twin flame is a long, long, long journey, and it's about recording your journey so that you can puzzle it together. That is how long it is, because if you don't record your journey, you lose the bits that will give you the solid whole of your journey, and then sometimes it's very difficult to determine, what your connection is. But the one thing is, Plutonic is like a supernova. It's intense. It lasts 5-6 years. Boom, done. I'm outie. Twin flame is long, slow burn. Okay, it's in the slow fry. It is like this thing you don't chuck in the microwave for 2 minutes. Okay. That's when you take it to the backyard and you spit it over the open fire. That's more twin flame. Okay. Very slow. Very slow. Have to be patient. You learn patience. It's a spiritual journey. Spiritual information coming in. You can't process it over a short period of time. Okay. There's also 7 stages of twin flame. If your twin flame energetic does not fit on the 7 stages, it is not a twin flame. 7 stages, because Plutonic will present the first, will be similar to awakening, testing, crisis, and surrender. That's where they fairly the same, and I can see where the confusion comes in. But over time, you will find surrender, radiance, harmonizing. That's the difference. And that surrender, radiance, and harmonizing can be years. Can be years. Okay? In itself. Because I've been in surrender for about 3 years. Okay? I've been in radiance for about the same, and still going. So if you have any questions, please, there's links below. You can contact me through my emails, or my website. You can leave me comments below. I'll try and get to you as fast as I can. I'm a twin flame life coach. I can help you get through the 7 stages. If you want to book a session with me to determine if it is a twin flame, I can help you with that. I'm a violet ray twin flame in Parakai, New Zealand. I've been doing this for a number of years. I know what I'm talking about, okay? And the reason why I can be so confident in saying I know what I'm talking about is because I can prove it with astrology. I can prove it with astrology. I can, sit with you. I can have a session with you, and we can determine whether you have a Plutonic connection or a twin flame connection, if whatever information here isn't enough for you. But I just want to say that with all of this, all the information that I put out on this video should give you a very, very, very good indication between twin flame and Plutonic. Okay, this is the best information that I can put out there for you to give you clarity. Go watch the videos that I've linked below, and to get you on track so that you can know what it is that you are dealing with. So I hope this information helps you, and if you have any questions, once again, please ask. And before I go, I just want to tell my twin, I love you more than words can say. Thank you for my healing. Thank you for this journey. And to everyone else, have a beautiful day. Light and love.